Hey guys, Justin back for another video. Today I've got something new for you, something that you've seen on YouTube before, but not something that you've seen from me. Today we're going to be doing my PSA pre-submission review. So I've already got all my cards ready to go, ready to ship. All I need to do is throw a rubber band around them and put them in a box and get them out of here. If I would have thought about this a little bit more in advance, I probably would have gotten stills of the pictures before I put them in sleeves and before I put them in the semi-rigid holders. That way you could get a better look at the surface and everything. But I didn't think about that. So you're just gonna have to see them in the rigid holders in the sleeves. So you'll have to trust that the surface looks good. Because if you see like little scratches or something like that on the camera right now, it's probably from the rigid holder or the sleeve. But I can assure you that I spent a lot of time being very meticulous looking at these cards, making sure that there were no surface issues. And out of all of the cards that I've collected since August, I really only found these 20 that I felt like they could be a 10. So I'm not submitting anything that couldn't be a 10. This is my first grading submission ever, so I was being pretty conservative with my guesses, kind of doing the eye test. So I watched quite a few videos about how to do a pre-grade, eye test. First of all, does the card look good? Is the spacing on the edges and the good? Are the corners sharp? And then I really got into it. Then I kind of wiped the cards down with a microfiber cloth and looked at the surface for scratches and dents and imperfections and things like that, front and back, for both of these. So after learning how to do that and looking through my cards, and then I had like 30 or 40 that I thought were pretty good. So I started looking at like values and things like that. Like, oh, is it worth it? And if it gets a 10, it's probably worth it, right? But if it gets a 9, is it still worth it? And so these cards are all cards that I think will get a 10, but if they get a 9, it would still be worth it. And then if they get an 8, hopefully I break even or lose very little money. So anyways, card number 1, Matt McLain, Aqua Wave, Chrome Update Auto sticker. That's the front. You've been looking at it for a minute, so I'll go ahead and turn it over here. Again, like this little imperfection down here that you see, that's not on the card. I checked pretty closely, so that's probably just on the sleeve. But yeah, okay, let's move on to card number 2. It is another Matt McLain, and this is going to be a Youthquake rookie. This comes out of a Chrome Hobby Jumbo. I'll give you a minute to take a look at this one here. But yeah, again, surface look good, corners look sharp. I don't really know too much on spacing on this one. I think the top may be slightly thinner than the right. And I don't really know how right to left spacing works because it's not a straight line there. But yeah, pause the video if you want to get a closer look at it. And here's the back. Again, spacing kind of hard to tell on the back. Maybe some slight issues on the top line, but I don't really think so. Yeah, good card overall. Again, I think everything can get a 10. All right, to card number 3. Here's a Gabriel Moreno purple speckle from Topps Chrome. He's a guy that I think is incredibly undervalued, overshadowed by Corbin Carroll. I like both of them. I think if Gabriel Moreno was the only really good rookie on the team, he would be getting a lot more attention. I love the purple speckle cards. I love the magenta speckle cards. I think they look amazing. So I definitely hope this one comes back as a 10. I think the centering is pretty good. Maybe the left side is like 55, right side 45. Top could also be 45, bottom 55, but we'll see what the grader thinks. I think this is just a good looking card. And the back here. No issues on this one. I think the back centering is perfect. So, yeah. All right. Card number 4. Another Gabriel Moreno. This one is an Aqua Wave on-card auto from Topps Chrome. Unfortunately, he's wearing his Blue Jays uniform, but hey, it's still a 2023 rookie card. Obviously, you'd prefer to see this in the Arizona uniform. But again, I think this card is pretty good. I think left to right centering is good. Top might be a little bit thick. A little bit hard to tell. But yeah, the surface looked great on this one. I'm not grading. All I'm doing is grading the card. I'm not grading autos or anything like that. So yeah, this card's great. I love it. I love the Aqua Wave. I think it looks good. Here's the back to this one. Bottom looks a little thin now that, or the bottom being our left side right here, looks a little thin now that I think about it. But I think they'll be a little bit lenient on the back side. So we'll see. Card number 5. Another Cincinnati Red, Spencer Steer. Had a great rookie season for the Reds. This is a Topps Chrome update. sticker auto, and this is also an aqua wave refractor. And this is definitely thick on the right and thick on the top. If this doesn't get a 10, I won't be shocked, but I think it's still worth it in a 9. Plus, this is a PC card, so I just want it slabbed anyways. I think when I first looked at it, I thought the centering was better, but now that I'm looking at it again, I'm not sure that it's going to get a 10. Hopefully it doesn't get an 8, but I think we're looking for a 9 in this one. And here's the back. The back centering looks a little better. Too bad the front's not the same. But all right. What are we on now? I think this is card number 6. And this is a cool one. I really like this card a lot. This is a 2023 Cosmic Chrome Green Space Dust on-card rookie auto, numbered to 75. This is Tristan Casas, obviously. Love this card. I have no idea how it's going to grade, honestly. The edges look sharp. The corners look sharp. Hard to judge the centering. I don't have enough experience doing this. The surface was great. I made sure to check it over. I'm kind of shooting in the dark on this one. I feel like I see some of these cards get submitted and then come back like as a low grade and nobody knows why. I mean, obviously, if you submit to tag instead of PSA, you'll know why. But the only way that I know that I think the centering is good is because it looks great on the back. I feel like it's pretty evenly spaced, top to bottom, left to right. So hopefully they kind of use the back as a reference for the front and they give me a 10, because that would be fantastic. Tristan Casas is a guy that I'm holding, longer term, especially as a first base DH. These guys put up good numbers over their career. Slightly less prone to injury, I think, and things like that. And number 7, moving on to another guy that I'm holding. I think he could have a good breakout year coming up. Nolan Gorman on the X-Fractor. These are hard to get good centering on, and sometimes the centering can be deceptive on the X-Fractors because you can use the squares, the little tiny squares in the X's, as a guide. And so like if you look at the left side here, there's a tiny little stripe on the left of the square and a very tiny little micro stripe on the right of the square. So there's like one full square plus maybe like a third. And so even though there's not like a square stripe on the right side, there's just a square, thicker stripe. I think it's about even. I think it's about a square and a third. So harder to tell on these. It definitely looks like the left is thicker, but I think it's just an illusion. Because of the way that the squares are. I think the centering is actually really good. So we will see. There's a little fuzz or something on the actual sleeve protector here, but this one looks good. This is one of the cards that like the value might be questionable. Like I think I definitely have to get a 10 on this to make it worth it. Looking at the back, the centering is not quite as good. This left side here compared to the right side is a little bit thin. So we'll see. Hopefully they don't consider the back too much on this one. Next, we've got another Nolan Gorman. This is coming out of Topps Update Series 2023. This is a rookie debut. Purple foil. I love these foil board cards. This one looks a little dark, honestly. But I probably just don't have the right light. I love these cards. I think they look great. I really love the red foil cards. But this is one that I'm definitely submitting. I think the centering is good on this one. I didn't see any surface issues, corners, edges. This is another questionable value card because this is numbered to $7.99, I think. We'll find out when we look over here. This is a bit of a gamble on the price. If I don't get a 10, it's probably not worth it, honestly. Just depending on what he does over the next few years. But again, I like this card. I just like the way it looks. And even though the serial number is $7.99, I think this could be low pop. I bet a lot of people aren't submitting this specific card for grading, but we'll see. Would love to get a 10 on it so that I can guarantee the pop is lower. But anyways. All right, next up is Bo Naylor. I think this guy's super underrated. I think just being from the Cleveland team makes it harder for him to gain traction in the media and with fans and stuff. I actually have quite a few of these Sonar cards. I've got like the purple, the blue, and the green of him, I think. He's somebody I have my eye on. I think he could do well in the future. I think Cleveland has to be doing better for him to get any sort of attention and recognition, but you never know. Anyways, this card is sharp. I think the centering is good. Maybe 45 on the left, 55 on the right. But I think it's good overall. No surface issues. Corners are great. Yeah. And, you know, this is another questionable value card. This is only a few dollar card, but if it gets a 10, I think it's definitely worth it. If it gets a 9, I don't know. You know, I don't know where we're at, but I think it can get a 10. The back centering looks really good as well. So, Bo Naylor, watch out for him. I think he's going to be pretty good. And here we get into some of the bigger rookies. Here's another X Factor. This one is a Corbin Carroll. Again, the centering on these is really hard to tell, but the way I kind of judge this one is I feel like there's like almost a full square on the left side plus like a third or a quarter. It might even be like 40% of a square. And then on the right side, there's like 80% of a square plus plus almost 50% of a square. I think it's about right. I think it's about as good center as it's going to be. Hopefully the grader agrees with me, but I think this is a really good example of a centered extractor card. And it's Corbin Carroll, so the value is definitely here on this one if it gets a 10. If it gets a 9, I think it could break even, and I think I'm in trouble if I get an 8 on this one. But this one's looking good. The back centering looks good, maybe slightly thinner down here than up there, but again, I think they're pretty lenient on the back centering, so rooting for the 10 on that one. This is another Corbin Carroll, a magenta speckle, and when I first pulled this card, just a second. When I first pulled this card, I actually wasn't sure if I was going to submit it. I think this bottom right corner, one of the corners is a little bit soft. I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be this bottom right one. But when I looked at it again, it looked good. So I was like, why did I remember it having a soft corner? I don't know. Maybe it kind of worked itself out in the top loader that I had it in. Not really sure. But I remember at one point being unsure of if this was a gradable card and then changing my mind and saying, yeah, it definitely is. But regardless, Corbin Carroll is somebody that, you know, rookie of the year, you're going to hang on to him long term. This is a numbered to 350 card. So, you know, if it manages to get a 10, the pop's going to be relatively low. I think it can get a 10. I guess we'll see what the grader thinks. I think it might be a little thick on the top, maybe a little thick on the right, but I think it's within the allowable. And the back here looks pretty good. Again, I can't really tell which corner I thought was soft, so I think it might have been this one. So the bottom right on the front, bottom left on the back, but we'll see. We'll see. I think if we get a 9 here, we're okay. I think if we get an 8, Next up, we've got another Corbin Carroll card. This is a Chrome update, I believe. Yes. Chrome update number 220. Again, if there's another fuzz here, but I promise you it's not on the card. I made sure to clean them and I actually used gloves to prepare these cards. So first time doing it, didn't want to take any chances. Anyways, this is a short print image variation. Not a golden mirror SSP, just an image variation. Well, I guess I'll show you the back in a minute anyways, but it's definitely thick on the right. I'm not sure if this will get a 10. A 9 is good though, value-wise. I think I do okay on a 9. An 8 is probably a break even, potentially maybe a slight loss. But we'll see what the grader thinks about the right to left. It could be within the allowable. It might be 60-40. I'm sure some of you guys will look at it right away and be like, it's definitely 60-40, right to left. But it's close. It's close. But yeah, cool card regardless. Either way, it's an image variation of Rookie of the Year. So, and then the back here, I think it looks pretty good on the back. The centering on the back looks good, so hopefully they'll kind of use the back as a reference for the front. I don't know. I don't really know how they do it. So, anyways, another Corbin Carroll. Next up is another X Factor. I love the X Factors, honestly. I opened 3 monster boxes of Chrome this year. I just really enjoyed the X Factors. So this is an Anthony Volpe. Again, it's really hard to tell the centering on these with the eye test because of the squares, but I think it's there. I think there's the same amount of a full square and the same amount of a partial square on left to right. So let me know what you think. Obviously, I'd love to see other people's opinions. I could be totally off on this. Again, I've never done a submission, so you guys might think all these cards I'm submitting are just garbage and not worth it, but you know, we'll see, I guess. But yeah, anyways, definitely clean the surface. There's a couple things on the card, on the actual image of the card. Hang on, there's something on the holder here. Like there's this speck of dirt, or I'm not sure if that's his necklace there. There's like a hole in his sock here. I thought those were issues with the card, and it turns out they're actually part of the image of the card. And so I was kind of like rubbing the microfiber there to make sure that it wasn't an issue with the card. And I was like, oh, it's just, you know, it's just him playing baseball. You get dirty and your necklace flings around or whatever. But anyways, this is good. I did have another really great Volpe card I was hoping to submit. It's an autograph numbered to 25, but the fact of the matter is it's just not going to get a 10. It probably would have been okay in a 9 anyways, but I'm not sure it would have got a 9. There was some damage on the edges, unfortunately. So not going to be able to submit that one. Hopefully, I do have one more Volpe card, but hopefully this one gems up. And this is the second and the last Volpe card that I have. So hopefully this one does well. It does look a little right, or it does look a little right heavy. Probably 60-40 on this one. I'm not sure that this one's going to gem mint. It also looks slightly thin on the top. I think we're hoping for a 9 on this one. We do okay on a 9. On an 8, I think we break even or lose just a little bit. If it 10's, great. I'm not sure that it will though, but it could. I think it could. The edges are sharp, the corners are sharp, the surface is sharp. The centering is the only thing I'm really worried about here. So we'll see. Again, I love the green sonars. I love all the sonars. Super cool cards. But maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get a 10 on this one. But I think realistically we could get a 9. And the back looks decent. This bottom corner is actually looking a little soft now that I think about it. I don't know if I noticed that before. Huh. That could be an issue. So if we get an 8 on this one, maybe we won't be surprised. But we're hoping, we think we'll get a 9. We're hoping for a 10, and an 8 is certainly a possibility. Next up, unfortunately, I did not have a lot of submission-worthy Michael Harris. But the one that I did decide to submit was a card that is very hard to find centered. And that is the Cosmic Chrome Stars in the Night. And this is the most centered Stars in the Night that I pulled, and thankfully it was a Michael Harris, because I think his cards are pretty undervalued right now. I think he could have MVP gears in the future. Playing with guys like Ronald Acuna Jr. Okay, is this part of the... Yep, it's on the holder here. There we go. Sorry, I saw a dirt speck. I was like, please don't be on the card. I'm pretty sure I cleaned you really well. Anyways, I think playing with guys like Ronald Acuna Jr. give you that MVP mindset. He's obviously a great athlete. I think he's gonna have MVP years, and I think getting a centered Stars in the Night like this, which is just an iconic looking card, with obviously the Starry Night painting. If this comes back as a gem mint, I think we're doing pretty well here. If it comes back as a 9, I think it's break even. I think an 8 is pretty bad on this one, if I remember correctly, but I think we can get a 10, man. It's going to be hard. I think the pop's going to be pretty low on this for not being a serial numbered card if it does get a 10. So, cross your fingers for me. Looking at the back, it might be a little thin at the bottom, but I guess it looks about the same width at the top. I think the sides are just thicker somehow, but anyways, I really hope we do get a 10 on this one, because this is probably my second favorite insert. I do love the extraterrestrials. I'm just not submitting any for grading. I just don't think they're worth it. Okay, and then next up, I pulled this card out of the same the same box as the Matt McLean Aqua Wave Auto. It was a really good, it was out of a Chrome Update Jumbo. That was a really good box to get this Yuri Perez and that Matt McLean Auto. Anyways, Yuri Perez is probably the most valuable rookie pitcher right now. Well, I guess Kodai Senga actually, but Yuri Perez is probably number 2. And this card looks pretty decent. Might be slightly thick at the top, but the edges are sharp, corners are sharp, surface is in great condition. It's a pseudo team color match, and it's an on-card auto, numbered to 150. So this one, I think, is going to get a 10. Yeah, pretty sure. Well, I mean, we'll see. But here's the back. I think the centering might be slightly thick at the top, but we'll see. I didn't even think I was going to submit this one. I just assumed because he was a pitcher it wouldn't be worth it. But then I was surprised at the price of that card. All right. Next up, we've got a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This one kind of needs to get a 10 for it to be worth it. The prices of his autos have been dropping. I actually declined an offer that I should have accepted on this card. Pretty much right when I opened it, I threw it on eBay. And I think somebody offered me $75 for it. I think the last sale of this might go as low as $40. So I should have taken that $75 offer. But the reason I didn't was because I was pretty sure I was going to submit this for grading. It is numbered to 50. It's a 1988 baseball refractor. Yeah, I obviously didn't know that his season was going to kind of dwindle down. Anyways, if I get a 10, it's great. But I think it could gem mint. The centering looks good. The edges looked pretty decent compared to some of these other similar cards that I've seen. And the corners were good too. So I got a little speckle on the holder here. But yeah, this is I don't know. This is going to be a tough grade. If it does gem mint, it's going to be totally worth it, but realistically, I might get that $75 that I was offered if it does get a 9. So in which case, it'd have been like, well, I kind of lost 15 bucks. Oh, by the way, this is going in on the January special. I'm getting it in just in the nick of time. So $14.99 per card, $25 shipping, so it ends up being like slightly more than $15 per card, or $16 per card. All right, next up is an Ezekiel Tovar Chrome Rookie Auto. This is another guy that I think if he just starts having some good years, his values could go up quite a bit. I think this is, I paid, this is part of my 2024 card collection out of my $300 January budget. I think I paid like $14 for this card. Or no, maybe it was like as low as $10.50, and then it was like $5 shipping. I can't remember, something like that. But this card's not a valuable card raw. It's really not. But I think if it does gem mint, we're doing pretty good on it. Plus, it's a card that I'm holding for a few years at least, just to see what happens. If the Rockies somehow start doing good, or if he gets traded to a better team, I think he could really break out. So, anyways, I think this card's pretty decent for grading. Slightly thin on the left, but we'll see. I think the rest of it's decent. I like his autograph. But yeah, clean card. Surface is really clean. There we go. Back looks good. I think the centering on the back looks better than the centering on the front. So, I mean, hopefully they kind of reference that. But yeah, anyways, this one's slightly questionable on the value. If it gets a 10, I think we're obviously doing fine, though. 9, probably break even. Okay, next up is a card that came out of a collection that I bought from somebody who sold me their entire collection. I did not start opening cards until 2023. So, I don't have any older rookies and stuff like that. And now, granted, this is a Topps Now, but it is one of the only Aaron Judge rookies that I do have. And thankfully, it wasn't kept in like the like original Topps Now holder, like the super rigid plastic square boxes or whatever, but it still looked really good. Now, the value on this is questionable. It has to get a 10 for it to be worth it. If it gets a 9, it's like break even. Maybe I make a couple bucks on a 9 on current prices, just because I'm getting the January deal. But if it gets an 8, I think I'm in trouble on this one. So we will see. I don't know what the pop is. I probably should have looked at it before I even decided to submit it. But this is Topps Now 2017 number 487. So Aaron Judge rookie, good condition. That's going in. And then the last card of the submission was honestly just because I needed to get to 20. There's a minimum of 20 cards to submit. And I really wasn't sure what else I was going to submit. So I don't know that it's worth it to submit this card, but again, I need 20 regardless. So I know this was a gem mint worthy card because I literally just got it in the mail like a couple months ago, and it sat in that case that they sent it in. So if it's not gem mint, then that's Topps' fault, you know, because it's brand new off the presses. I did take it out of the holder, look it over, clean it. So yeah, anyways, Gunnar Henderson, Topps Now off-season number 10 rookie of the year. I kind of wish I would have bought the Corbin Carroll one, but I had a Topps Now credit from a card that I pulled, so that's the one I bought. But anyways, this is going in. This is kind of just a filler card to get me to 20. But anyways, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on the pre-submission. Obviously, when I get the results, we'll do a reveal. But yeah, we got 20 cards going in, $14.99 each plus $25 shipping. So we're paying just over $16 per card. It's a pretty good deal. And yeah, hopefully my first PSA submission goes well, and we're getting, I'm going to guess we get 14 10s. I guess we're going to get 14 10s. I'm only going to say 1 8 and 5 9s. That's my guess. So yeah, anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Please hit that like and subscribe button. The channel's been growing. I think we're up to like 64 subscribers now. And, you know, I was at like nothing a couple months ago. I just really appreciate you guys hanging out. So I will catch you on the next one.